We are Keys and Gears, the podcast where we give you the keys to real estate and the gears to get you there.
We break down what's really happening in the Dallas market.
And we give you straight talk that helps you buy smart, sell wise, and live well.
Let's roll.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about you families out there, current homeowners living in neighborhoods, loving your life. What should you be thinking about, and maybe should you be rethinking what you're doing right now in terms of real estate in this year of 2025, where a lot of things are changing? And so we just want to kind of give you food for thought and maybe spur some, thinking to make sure that you're making the right moves for your family. So, Bess, what are some things they should be thinking about? They currently own a home, live in a neighborhood that they bought maybe 4 or 5 years ago, right, with their family. And what are some of the things they should be thinking about to not miss out on opportunities, or, make sure that their life still aligns with where they're living and how they're living, right? Maybe that's how should they think about that?
How should they think about that? Yes. I mean, take a deep breath and consider, how is the house enabling you to live your best family life every day?
Love that. Because we all get into boxes, right? And we kind of get into Groundhog Day, where we get up every day and kind of just rinse and repeat without doing too much effort of thinking and, looking around, right? Because we're creatures of habit. And the path of least resistance, just to keep doing what you're doing. Exactly.
And so as children grow, how they use this building called home changes quite a bit. And as a family, you don't want to be caught flat-footed, and that is suddenly the kids are in high school and you never, ever see them because your house does not meet their needs. It doesn't have a place where the guys can hang out and play video games for 2 hours after football practice. It doesn't have, it doesn't lend itself to a giant post-volleyball game pool party.
Right.
And these are things to think about. And why do Mark and I talk about it at this point? And that is because right now, big question he and I both get is, should we remodel or should we move? Because we're sitting on a 3% or 4.5% interest rate. Interest rates are 6.5%. Should we wait until interest rates go down? Should we go ahead and remodel today?
Right.
That's an interesting
an
question.
And it's a very personal choice on many, many different levels. I mean, financially speaking, the numbers have to make sense in order for you to buy the next house. And the numbers have to make sense in terms of remodel, not just on a monthly cash flow basis. What can you afford to do? But also in the sense of you don't want to over improve your home for the neighborhood. Right. You don't want to spend too much money to adjust your lifestyle, to adjust a house to your lifestyle, or your expected new lifestyle that's coming down the road. Instead, sometimes it's just less expensive to buy a different home in the same neighborhood instead of going through all that.
So what should families be looking at when they're considering moving or buying or changing in 2025? I'd say number one, you want to hit some open houses in your neighborhood and see what your neighbors have already decided to do. Going back to your point of over improving or under improving, that's part of the question. If you are in those open houses and every house that's been updated, you don't like any of them. Yeah. All right. Well, then maybe you don't remodel. Maybe you just go ahead and move, because if that's where the trends are,
it's not your trend.
It's not your trend, right?
And by the way, that's something a homeowner should do regardless of if they're thinking of moving or not. You should be going to open houses throughout the year, just to keep a pulse on what's happening.
Oh, totally. Yes. Totally.
You're protecting yourself by doing that.
Protecting yourself.
Continue.
The other thing, what should you be considering whether you should buy or remodel, and that is, how are the local schools trending as far as performance goes in the state of Texas? Why? Because whether you do private school, whether your kids are getting ready to graduate. You may not think it matters. It does matter. School performance does affect current and future home values. So if you are in a neighborhood and you look at what the schools, how the schools have been performing for the past 5 years, and they're slowly ticking down, well, maybe we need to go ahead and sell, because you don't want to carry the whole neighborhood up, right? You just want to get out and be done. If it is slowly ticking up, that's a different consideration altogether, because now it sounds like you've got, you probably can harvest equity now, especially if you're at 3%, harvest equity and do a remodeling refresh, talk to Mark, remodel refresh loan.
Right.
And again, if a school performance is ticking up, then that means the likelihood of your future home value ticking up at a higher rate than maybe other neighborhoods where their schools are performance is slowly sliding down. If your school performance is going up, that means, generally speaking, your home value is going to be slightly higher than the normal for the area.
And if I can add to that, as a 20-year real estate agent back in those days when I was doing that instead of lending, my hack was to look at, and I did this more in the sense of where do I need to take my business and my marketing as a real estate agent, was I looked at the school districts and I looked at specifically elementary school attendance. And if I saw neighborhoods where elementary school attendance was rising, those were neighborhoods with pretty safe investment potential for buying a home. If I saw the opposite, I could then counsel buyers to say, hey, this may not be the right neighborhood. Because what happens is when elementary school attendance drops, that means the neighborhood typically either has a problem or it's maturing, meaning the inhabitants are aging out of that neighborhood, which a lot of times will mean a drop in property values. Elementary schools drive property values. The attendance of that is really the main driver behind appreciation. And so it's a good idea to look at that, and regardless of if you send your kids to private school or not. How's your neighborhood elementary school doing?
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. And the last little thing to consider as far as what you should consider before you buy and or sell is go to the city website and see what kind of activities, festivals, things like that are going on, because a dynamic, an engaged city council, a forward-thinking city council does also affect home value. And not all, it's interesting, cities and neighborhoods, but cities each have their own personalities, if you will. And that definitely, and that also is gives you an idea of which way to go, as far as like where there's some value to be had and things like that.
Yes.
I mean, I think Mark and I both think back to like at this point, almost 20 years ago, when the city of Richardson hit kind of a stall point as far as values go, and the proactive city council said, okay, well, what's going on with us? What happened? And they literally rezoned their entire city to be much more family centric, and now 20 years later, it is
paying off dividends.
It is paying off dividends. It's one of those suburbs. It's a suburb of Dallas, but it's almost it's
almost part of Dallas.
It's almost part of Dallas, and it's now one of those little neighborhoods that has those 1,500 square foot 1950 cottages that you're lucky to get in for $400,000.
Yeah.
Which no one would have believed 20 years ago.
No.
But anyway, so look at something to consider before you buy is just take some time and deep dive into that city website and see what's going on.
And better yet, have an agent working with you working for you that knows these things without you having to do the research.
I would say do the research too. But yes,
I tell people all the time, you can find the cure for cancer online if you look hard enough. The problem is that you have so much information on your hands, you don't know how to interpret it. and that's why you need a professional, right? That holds true for anything you're doing, anything in your life. Right now, in today's world, you have so much information. The problem is you're not a professional. You don't know how to interpret the information, and your interpretation is most likely going to be wrong. Just because you're not in it every day. You're not doing this. You drive a neighborhood every single day. You're showing houses every single day. Yeah, or whatever it is.
Right.
You're involved on a daily basis, 24/7, 7 days a week. And here you are as a home buyer making decisions, and you just, for a week, spend time reading something about a neighborhood.
Or talking to well-meaning friends and family.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, don't get me started on that. They have no idea what's going on.
Well,
I mean, let's be blunt.
And they also, remember, we're all human, and that is...
They have a bias.
Right? They're share based on their filter.
Yeah, and their fears. Most likely they're going to be much more fearful and much less likely to take a risk than, you should be. Because they're so conservative, looking out for you, that a lot of times you can miss out. Penny wise and pound foolish decisions because they were so afraid for you, where you weren't that afraid, but now you've become afraid,
right?
Because they've talked you into being afraid.
There you go.
So talking to experienced, trustworthy professionals that aren't trying to sell you anything, that's the key. That's what I'm getting at, is have professionals in your life that tell you the truth, not trying to sell you something, but to offer you, solid advice based on, rational thinking and not, irrational thought. So anyway,
I like it. So those are our three.
Yes.
As a current homeowner, should you remodel? Should you sell and buy?
It's a very personal answer, right?
It is. But those are three keys that we wanted you to consider for sure.
Just think about where your family's headed in the next 5 years, 10 years. Where do you see it going? Because those homes are going to get more and more expensive too. So
God is not making land anymore.
It may be better to move up now than to pay the price later, and make a move now instead of later. But anyway, that's up to you. Let's talk about the crazy real estate pictures of the week.
There you go.
What do we have?
All right.
Oh my, not so crazy.
Not so crazy. What's interesting is, so this is a flip, and it's one of the better flips I have been in recently.
What's the price point on this roughly?
This one is about $400,000.
Okay. In a decent neighborhood.
That's a can of worms there.
I mean, is it on the upper end of that neighborhood at that price?
It is on the upper end of the neighborhood at that price. This neighborhood is located north of 380.
Oh, I see. Yep.
North 380 is also called University. It is in the process of being expanded as a main travel artery. So thus Bess's hesitation, because it's a pain in the tush.
Commuter-wise.
Commuter-wise. Yes. So
but the payoff is there in 5 years.
Could be. Yeah. Could be for sure. So of interest of this picture, and that is some hallmarks of a flip. And that is, yes, they still did the grays, but they did try to lean towards the old classic black and white. Those are our quartz countertops. That is the original mirror.
Nope.
They tried to save some money. Those are the original cabinets painted with new pulls. This is a great illustration of how a little bit of hardware change can make a big difference. So even at your own home now, if you're wanting something fresh and different, don't just paint the cabinets. Also consider the pulls, the hardware, because it does make 100%. A big difference. I do appreciate the fact that they did do consistent hardware, and it's consistent in style for the most part. There you go. As y'all know, I'm a fan of having tile go all the way up to the ceiling, especially in bathrooms that do not have windows. Why? Because moisture, we all love water. We all need water. Water and drywall
don't mix.
Are not friends.
No.
And so having that tile go all the way up does help you with that hot shower control.
To me, it's also
moisture.
If you're going to redo a bathroom, please finish it and have a better mirror in there, better light fixture, I think too. Just finish it.
I would agree. That was a miss on the light fixture, and that is, it's a traditional shade. You see how it's curved?
Yeah.
And look how many, see the pulls?
Yeah.
They're all
It's
straight lines. It's all
straight,
angular.
square.
Even they made an emphasis on the tile floor. Notice it's rectangles. For
sharp
me, you and I would have done black grout.
Yeah.
So there was no white lines.
Yeah.
They decided to go with a
for
design
whatever reason.
woo-woo of
Yeah.
putting in white
Yeah.
grout. Dumb,
those-
because this
it's
is a
those
hall
details.
bath,
Yeah.
and for you and I, since we have kids, had kids, care and keeping of white grout.
Yeah.
is
No. Oh my gosh.
awful.
Yeah. Awful. Anyway, it's the details. Don't finish it. Finish the job. Don't do it half done.
Right.
Because people can sense that. They may not put their finger on it, what it is, but they sense that.
It's just off.
Yeah, it's just off.
People, they'll swipe left instead of right.
You and I can see it, but the majority just walks through there and goes, that's okay bathroom.
But it's okay to keep your original cabinets. I mean, those of us that do try to be conscientious and live green, if you will, keep stuff out of the landfill, keeping your original cabinets. There you go. That's the biggest takeaway. Just change up your pools. You'd be amazed.
Do we have another one?
How happy you are.
Oh, we have another one. Oh, same
This
house.
is the prime. Is this the no same house? Yes, another bathroom in the house. Interesting. You can see, to save time, they made same choices nearly all the way around. But what's interesting is in here, same exact light fixture, but it kind of works.
Because it's rounded.
Because it's rounded, the
other
mirrors
ones
are
were all
rounded,
rectangles.
the faucets are rounded. It's a blend of rectangles and curves.
Yep.
You see the bathtub round, right?
Yep.
So all that to say, same finishes. I mean, the quartz, the whole shebang, but yet it works. Why? Because it's consistent.
Yeah.
Notice the same pulls as well.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So don't hear us say no to that somewhat traditional or farmhouse.
Yeah, it's fine, but
Quick fun hack: Bess would not have used the solid opaque LED light bulbs.
Yeah,
When you have a glass fixture right now, you got to use the Edison bulbs. It makes a huge difference. It really adds that extra detail that takes it from nice, like this is very nice, this is nicely done, to a wow.
the quality of the actual light being emitted is very important.
And the aesthetics of a clear Edison bulb.
The clear,
is just fun.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. I love
So-
it. I think those are all really good suggestions if you're looking to improve your bathrooms. Be careful with those details. Make sure you look at those. So with that being said, another episode under our belt, and we're going to be back soon with another one.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us at Keys and Gears.
and
Subscribe so you can get notified when we drop new episodes. We try to drop them every Tuesday.
Yes.
Have we ever said
every
that
week.
before?
Yeah.
Every week?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I mean, it
We're
drops
still
every
learning.
week.
You're
and
learning
also
with us.
give us suggestions down below as far as what you want to hear about. Give us some comments on what topics you would like to hear about, because we'd love to do what you want to hear about. So anyway,
There you go.
that's it.
Love you, mean it.
Bye.
Bye.